포모스 스포츠を一言で言うと力です。
미칸 보우야라는 출중한 운전수를 둔
뭐 2대2나 팀의 전체적인 분위기도 맡고 있고
현재 어깨에 쥐고 있는 게 굉장히 많습니다. 미칸 보우야가 쥐고 있는 이 짐을 팀원들과 조금만 더 나눈다면
앞으로도 성장 가능성이 굉장히 큰 팀이라고 생각이 됩니다.
ゲームイズを一言で言うと無という言葉が合うと思います。例えば誰が出てくるかわからない、あとはどんなデッキが出てくるかわからない。
Game Wiz 很全面，基本上每一个选手实力都非常强。
현존하는 아시아 최강이라고 해도 사실 과언 아니거든요. 과연 누가 꺾을 수 있을지.
自分たちももう研究するところは全部研究して対策も練っているのでもう全部勝つつもりで来ています。
対戦相手の分析とかしてそれに応じて対策しています。
今回も気持ちも負けずに勝ちたいと思っています。
自分が出る試合では負けることはないという気持ちで挑んで
絶対勝ちます。よそろう。
로얄 리그 아시아 파이널 결승에 오른 두 팀을 지금 소개합니다.
Royale League Asia. We're gonna have two teams come up on the stage. My name's G-Clef. With me is Simon.
How's it going? Looking forward to a great day of Clash Royale for this final between Ponos Sports and Game With.
와일드카드부터 각 팀들을 모두 제치고 결승까지 올라선 이들. 분노의 질주는 끝나지 않았다. 포너 스포츠!
They came up from the wild card. Their raid still stays on. Ponos Sports.
이보다 강한 팀은 없었다. 정규 스플릿 1위에 빛나는 일본의 자존심. 게임 위드!
There's never been a team this strong. From Japan, the pride of Japan. Game Win.
클래시 로얄 리그 아시아. 과연 초대 우승자는 누가 될지 그 마지막을 장식할 결승전 그 꿈의 무대를 지금 시작합니다.
They will become the champion. First, Clash Royale League Asia. Let's begin.
아시아 최강자를 가리는 클래시 로얄 리그 아시아 파이널 인사드립니다. 안녕하세요. MC를 맡은 우주신 기자입니다. 오늘 드디어 3개월의 대장정 그 끝에 초대 우승팀이 탄생하게 됩니다. 결승전에서 만난 두 팀의 일본 팀 전체 순위 1위로 실력을 입증하며 먼저 파이널에 진출해 있던 게임이드와 와일드카드부터 무려 결승전까지 쉴 새 없이 달려온 폭주 기관차 포노스 스포츠입니다. 대망의 결승전인 만큼 감독님들의 이야기를 안 들어볼 수 없겠죠? 게임이드의 노리미치 오바 감독님과 선수이자 감독을 맡고 있는 포노스 스포츠의 미칸 보우야 감독님과 함께 인터뷰 나눠볼게요.
Yeah. Before we start the finals, we'll have an interview with the coach from both teams.
안녕하세요. 먼저 각 팀 감독님들 인사 소개 한번 해주세요.
Let's have a short introduction from both teams. Coaches.
監督お願いします。
ゲームウィズの監督の大場です。 ここまでやっと来れることができましたので、皆さん応援よろしくお願いいたします。
안녕하세요. 게임위드 감독 오바입니다.
Hello, I'm Oba,
매우 영광이고요. 오늘
the
잘
coach of Game Win.
부탁드리겠습니다.
An honor to be up here. Looking forward to the match.
ポノススポーツ監督兼選手みかんぼやです。今日は頑張ります。応援よろしくお願いします。
안녕하세요. 포너스 스포츠의 미칸입니다.
Hello, I'm Mikan
오늘
from
열심히 하려는 일이기 때문에
Motorsports.
응원 많이
We will
부탁드리겠습니다.
try to do our best. So be
대망의
the best if you
결승전을
would
앞둔
root for
소감이
us.
궁금한데요. 먼저 게임위드 감독님한테 여쭤보고 싶습니다. 소감 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
So what you're feeling right now on stage before we start the finals?
他のチームの人たちもみんなが立ちたかった舞台にようやくここでみんなで来ることができたので、1秒たりとも無駄にせずにプレーしていただきたいと思います。
모두가 오고 싶었던 자리인 만큼 저희가 오늘 매우 열심히 하고 싶어요.
As everyone wanted to be up on the stage, we will try to play our best.
감독님의 소감은 어떠신가요?
미칸 감독님.
ここに来てここで勝つために今までやってきたので、今日全力で頑張りたいと思います。
여기서 꼭 우승하기 위해서 저희가 이 자리까지 왔기 때문에 오늘 꼭 열심히 하겠습니다.
We are here to win and win it all. So we are going to give our best shot today.
를 만나게 됐는데요. 서로에 향한 평가가 굉장히 궁금합니다. 포노스 감독님은 게임위드를 어떻게 평가하시나요?
How do you think Game Win? How would you rate Game Win as a team right now against you? Let's hear from Mikan first.
ミカン監督、ゲームウィズはどう評価していますか？
ゲームイズは個々の能力が高くて総合力が非常に強いチームだと思ってます。
게임위드는 개개인 선수가 매우 출중하고요. 무엇보다 결속력이 좋은 팀이라고
Game Win,
평가하고
they have
있습니다.
great individuals with
게임위드 감독님은
great
포노스
teamwork
팀을
as well.
어떻게 평가하시나요?
では大場監督はいかがですか？
リーグの開幕1回戦で、当たったチームとまたここで決勝で当たるというのは本当に強いチームだなというふうに思っております。
리그의 개막과 이제 결승까지 함께하는 팀이기 때문에
From the opening day to the final day, so I think they are a very strong team indeed. I do think that they are a strong team.
팀보다 우리 팀이 이게 조금 더 낫다 하는 자신 있는 부분이 있을까요 혹시?
Is there any factor in the team that you think you're a little bit better than the other team?
私のチームが強いという部分があったら教えてください。まず大場監督からお願いします。
お互い本当に強いチーム同士の戦いだとは思うんですけれども、言うて言えば、うちのチームは本当に若さと吸収力があるので、今までのこのリーグ期間中強さをずっと吸収し続けたという意味では強いのかなと思っております。
저희 서로 모두 매우 강한 팀이긴 하지만
We're all
저희
strong
팀이 조금
teams.
더 젊고 집중력이 높은
But I
팀이
think we have
아닌가.
younger
그렇기 때문에
and
여기까지
more
유지할
concentration
수
and
있었던
focus into game. I think that was the reason why we are able to be in the finals.
게임위드보다 자신 있는 부분 있을까요?
The same question to Mikan Buya. What do you think you're better than your opponent?
ワイルドカードをセミプレーオフ、プレーオフと戦ってきて負けられない戦いを勝ってきているので、こういう勝負では強いと思ってます。
와일드카드부터 세미 플레이오프, 플레이오프부터
We went
여기까지
through the wildcard semi and the playoff.
이해가 아닌가 싶습니다.
And I think that shows a lot about us and the better factors for us.
스코어와 결과를 어떻게 예상하시나요?
今日は決戦
Let's hear your predictions for the finals.
このスポーツが予想する今日のスコアと結果はいかがですか？
First from Mikan Buya.
3-0で勝ちます。
3승하겠습니다.
We will take 3 wins.
그럼 반대로 게임위드 감독님의 예상 스코어는 어떻게 될까요?
오바 감독과 도 예상하시나요?
How about from coach from
3-0で
Game Win?
3대 0으로 이기겠습니다.
Same 3-0.
네, 아직 시작도 안 했는데
Confidence from both teams here.
마지막으로 각오를 안 들어볼 수가 없겠죠? 그럼 게임위드 감독님부터 각오 한 말씀 해주세요.
Let's hear your last words before we start the match.
はい、何が何でも、本当に負けられない試合ということになってしまいましたので、もうこれが全力をぶつけて、楽しんでいただきたいと思っております。
오늘만큼은 질 수 없는 시합이기 때문에 물론 이기는 것도
This is a
중요하지만
match where we
즐기면서
cannot lose.
게임을 임하고 싶습니다.
We will win and also enjoy at the same time.
では미권選手
ここまで来て負けるわけにいかないので全力でぶつかりたいと思います。
여기까지 질 수 없기 때문에 전력을
We can't lose all the way up here. We will
네,
give
말씀
our best shot.
감사합니다. 이야기를 듣고 나니까 오늘 경기가 너무너무 기대가 되는데요. 일본 지역에서도 1, 2위를 다퉜던 게임이다 포노스 스포츠 오늘 결승전 역시 너무너무도 치열할 것으로 예상됩니다. 과연 클래시 로얄 리그 아시아 영광의 첫 트로피를 가져갈 팀은 누가 될지 그
We
흥미로운
did hear about
승부 지금
from both
함께
coaches. Let's start it right now. Here we are finally. Welcome to Clash Royale League Asia. My name's G-Clef, and here we have Simon. It is the finals! How excited are you?
I am so excited to see this game. Two of the best teams in Clash Royale League Asia going head-to-head right now. This is going to be absolutely bonkers.
Bonkers?
Bonkers.
Like, my eyes will pop if we go to the 5th set. You guys saw the format. We'll go over all that together, but these two teams, unfortunately, we do not have a team from Korea. We do not have a team from Southeast Asia, but we do have the two best teams from this 10 weeks of journey we had. It is the final day. Pono Sports and GameWith. Which team is better? We will get to know that result after just in few hours.
Yeah, it's worth saying that GameWith, as they said in the interview, they enjoy playing. Every game you see, they've always got smiles on their face. Even when they're losing, they're happy, you know? They're that excited. But we got to talk about Ponos. They have this amazing run. They haven't dropped many games at all since the wildcards.
I know, even the wildcards, they were pretty strong. The first semi-playoff, 6 games, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, and the broadcast was over in an hour. That's how strong they were, and they beat HQ in that way. And then they moved on to the playoff that you had last weekend.
Yep. And Kingzone Dragon X, they put up a good fight. It went down to the 5th set. It was back and forth, but eventually it was Expo Master versus Mikamboya. And Mikamboya just edged out that victory.
This is the overview. We'll get to, since it's been weeks, and it is the final day. There's a separate prize pool for the regular season first, second, and third place. We don't get to see that on screen, but there is a prize pool, of course. And because Ponos placed 3rd in the overall standings of the pennant race, they will take that. And then these both teams for the playoff, they have already secured 20K, but the first place prize, double that money.
Yeah, but money isn't everything. These guys are playing for the glory of being the first champions in Clash Royale League Asia. Sure, the money is a nice bonus, but they'd be doing it even if it was free.
Yeah, it is not the best of 3 that we had for the pennant race. It is the same as last week and the week before. Best of 5 format. Only have 1 2v2 in set 2, and the rest are basically 1v1, the traditional, the original Clash Royale action there.
Yeah, until you get to set 5, where it's a best of 1 instead of a best of 3 format between 2 players. When one player gets knocked out, he is replaced with another player of the team, and they have to secure 3 victories to be able to take that trophy home with them tonight.
Even at the beginning of the season, when Clash Royale League Asia just started in the few weeks, we were also saying, and lots of the Korean commentators were saying, Japanese in the region looks very strong. And even as with individuals with Korean teams, they are also very strong in Southeast Asia. But in terms of 2v2, the Japanese teams were so strong, and that's why I think that's the real reason why they are up in the finals.
Yeah, during the regular season, 2v2 was incredibly important. It was your rubber match, basically. You had to win it regardless. You can win it, close off the match, win it, take it to set 3. It was super, super important. But we've seen in the playoff season, 2v2 is only 1 match. It's not as important. But you can look on the screen the results right now. 2v2, both these teams, 17-11, 16-11. They have super positive win rates in these.
It's incredible. As GameWith, they have 72.7% win rate on 2v2 from the pennant race. So that's a lot of wins. Even if they drop in 1v1, they have a second chance. And they also have a very strong win rate, 60% on their 1v1. So if they win 2, that's the end of the series.
Yeah, look at Mikamboya's stats here for Ponos Sports. He has played 41 games, 65% win ratio. That's a lot of games and a lot of wins.
This
That's
is including
incredible.
1v1 and 2v2 all together. And Pono Sports also has the postseason stats in there. That's why he played a lot more, up to 41 games.
Yeah, so GameWith got to rest for the last few weeks. I'm sure they've been busy training, watching these videos. But the stats here do show both regular and postseason. But look at Shun's win ratio, 25 games. What was it, 75 win ratio? It just went off as I was talking about it.
But we have the active roster for today. Set 1, Raiki Jones versus Zeros, who's actually a new member of GameWith.
Yeah, has played 1 game previously to today.
And Mikamboya versus Mikamboya with Tengat, Shun with KK. I think that is the real duel starting from set 2. We have Fuchi Amaterasu set 4 and back to the ace match, I would say. Mikamboya versus Shun. And then 5, for set 5, we will have a little break and they will decide who which of the 3 members from each team goes for that all-kill format.
Yeah, these 2v2 teams are the 2 best 2v2 teams in this league. Mikanboya and Tengod have shown week in, week out that they are unbelievably amazing. Even if you take out Tengod and put in Raiki Jones, Pono Sports 2v2 is so solid. You cannot move it.
And they really have to take the 2v2. I think the first set, of course, 1v1s are important, but that 2v2 synergy. And these 2 teams are one of the top, 2 of the top 3 teams in the entire league to have the best win rate on that 2v2 too. So I think I'm really excited for that as well. But seems like we are jumping in as soon as possible to that first set, Simon.
Yeah, the first set is going to be Raiki Jones versus Zeros. Zeros, as you said, new player, has only played 1 game so far, and that was against AHQ Esports. But look at this man, Raiki Jones, 10 wins, 5 losses, 66% win ratio here. This guy is incredibly good.
He's incredibly good, and I do have to admit that he's really good that sometimes, not too many times in the postseason, but in the pennant race, this guy started off with the win for the team, and they just finished with the 2v2 oftentimes, and Mikanboya didn't even really show himself for that ace match.
Yeah, you don't need to show yourself for the ace match when you're 1v1 and your 2v2 is incredibly strong. There is pretty much no need to ever go to that ace match. But we have to say, Pono Sports did go to a lot of ace matches.
Yes, they did, compared to game width, because that really shows in the stats that we have for the 1v1, as they have lower percentage. But we do have to talk about Zeros here, as he's a new member in the team first of all, but he has only played, look at the stat, only 1 set of 1v1, and he has 0-2 score on it.
Yeah, he also looks a little bit nervous. I will say he's jiggling about. He doesn't quite know what to do with himself. I mean, that can play into it here.
We have a huge crowd. We're on a different stadium upstairs, and OGN right here, live on the stage. They're not even in the booth, and we will get to see that ban card. They had few weeks. Game with, they are on a rest for such a long time. They didn't get the same stage experience, I would say. Let's take a look. Giant and Inferno Dragon ban.
Giant, I can kind of see. Giant has been ripping up a lot of challenges lately. Giant is such a powerful card in your deck. Inferno Dragon is the answer to Giants as well. So, I mean, they've banned Inferno Dragon here. Did they need to? I mean, it still answers Golem. It still answers P.E.K.K.A. So it's still a good ban, right?
I think it's a hint. It's a very good hint that he may not just consider any air units. Also to throw off, the game would actually had a lot of those throw away bans that I would say. That it's not really hinting the decks they are going to play. Just banning the card, kind of like Expo Master, how he always bans the Elixir Pump. Just banning one of the cards that they always ban and make sure they feel comfortable playing the game. And the giant ban here means maybe if it's hinting a deck that he's going to play, we may actually see an Expo with the Valkyrie. That has been the newest trend. Still very high win rate in the Grand Challenge as well, so we may just have a lot of those coming out.
Yeah, Giant is such a good answer to Expo decks because he can just soak up so much damage. And when you're relying on that Expo to connect to the tower, having that big body in the way stops everything.
Yes, and Giant is just enough to actually soak all the shots from Expo. And in that time, you will just have a lot more elixirs to back your attacker with the Giant. Giants will also, of course, punch the Expo because Expo is the structure. Giant will go straight to the Expo once it's close enough. And that's basically a ban. And we also saw lots of different decks coming in because the modal change and the Rascals change with the latest balance update. We do see a lot more Tesla power because of those.
Yeah, it's worth noting that this is the first time we've seen game width since the last balance update. So we don't know if they've been cooking in the lab, let's say, and building up these new strategies with all the new balance changes to things like Valkyrie. What else was changed lately? There was quite a few big changes. Wizard has seen a lot of change.
Oh yeah, it's even the Bomber got the change.
The Bomber with that extra 0.5 range has been working up those skeleton muscles. I don't know, that was what they said.
Yes.
He's been working on his throwing arm.
I read that as well. So it was quite fun, and we actually do see lots of... We have to talk about the Witch. We can't forget about the Witch. Witch has been destroying the arenas right now.
Yeah,
Are we ever going to see a Witch?
I guarantee we will see one. That might be why we have the Giant here banned, is because Giant Witch is just such a powerful combo. All those little skeletons build up behind the Giant, and it takes it. If it reaches the tower, those skeletons look at the tower, that tower disintegrates.
Giant with a wizard on the back or a witch on the back. Either one, they're so strong. Witch does not die to fireball, plus the low. A massive buff onto that HP.
It is why we've seen a lot of lightning lately in a lot of challenge decks as well, because lightning will take out that witch instantly, and we need that answer to the witch because she is just an incredible card right now.
Seems like we're up. They had that 3 minutes to get all the decks together with their teammates and the coach. Will be the first one. A very important pressure lying on their shoulders right now.
Yeah, whoever wins this game puts themselves in such a good position for the rest of the day. Going 1-up right at the beginning will be such a boost.
That will start with the first set. Raiki Jones, Pono Sport. Zeros for game win. This is the finals between all Japanese finals. Let's get to see the game number 1, set number 1 between these two.
Welcome to the final. Set 1, game 1. We have Pono Sports, Raiki Jones down in the blue. And we have Game with 0 up in the red. And we see the Ice Golem starting. Could this be an Expo deck?
I think it's hinting, it is a Hunter. Still possible to switch off to the side. I think he can just still bring in the old one with the Valkyrie and also the Hawk Rider or the Royal Ghost. There has been some variations on this one.
Those bats will take out that Hunter, and we see a Mega Minion played at the back.
So I think it does hint a lot. Ooh.
3 Musketeers. Good answer so far. Do we see any Fireballs? Do we see anything else? Flying Machine comes in, and a Lumberjack to take out those 2 Musketeers.
Yeah, with the Inferno Dragon Ben, I think Zeros did bring a Golem deck of his own, but the Hawk Rider we see going straight 2. That's 1. Landing 2.
3 hits. The Valkyrie did get a few swings in on that tower as well, so it does take that top right tower down to 1,343 hit points.
Not too bad of a trade as well. Oh, of course Zeros did lose a lot more in terms of the damage, but he also did somewhat with the Flying Machine at the bottom. Didn't really connect to the rage because of the range. It's so long away from the tower.
Yeah, both these players are relatively equal now in Elixir. We do have that Goblin Hut down, which will eventually bring some bonus Elixir to Zeros here, but this Hunter is going to rip through, and we see the Golem from Zeros.
Here we go, we're on the race here. And Hog Rider to counteract and do some damage. That's going straight into the Princess Tower now.
Yeah, that Hog Rider will usually get 3, maybe 4, almost 4 hits there, and both towers have been taken down quite a lot, but we have Lumberjack and Mega Minion on that side. Luckily, we have the 3 Musketeers to defend. Easily takes care of that, but only 1 Musketeer is attacking the Golem. Uses the Hunter.
Yes, the Hunter, but the Night Witch is still on the back. And the explosion damage will also do the damage. But the problem, look at the damage onto the left top. Musketeers will bring the tower down.
Yeah, those 2 Musketeers do so much damage, and Zeros left them unanswered. Almost focusing a bit too heavy on his own Golem push on that side.
So Zeros in a rush already, only 30 seconds. But look at these Musketeers, 4 of them now stacked together. And Golem melting on top.
Yeah, that Golem is not long for this world. Those Musketeers are absolutely tearing through it. Doesn't get anywhere near the tower. You need that death damage to connect, at least. And he doesn't get it here.
And only 10 seconds to respond. Soup so far away, gets down to 3 digits. But that's going to be it. Raiki Jones with that 3 Musketeer cycle with the Hog Rider is going to take the very first game.
Yeah, that 3 Musketeers did so much work on those Golems, and then the 2 that went off to that left-hand side just destroyed that tower so quickly, so easily, that Zeros kind of, I don't know, he kind of felt like he got railroaded into his own attack.
I think Raiki Jones had a really good read onto Zeros. Against the Golem deck, you can kind of tell Night Witch, Lumberjack, and even the Mega Mini, it does seem like the Golem deck 100%. So I shouldn't wait. You don't really have to wait to defend against the Golem. You can make your counter attack, and that was a perfect decision to actually have the 2 going to the left and then 1 to the right because he had the Hunter in his hand as well. It was just enough defense. He had a lot of tower HP left, so in a better of a trade, he actually brought the tower down onto the left side. Great decision making by Raiki Jones at that moment.
Yeah, one of the golden rules for Golem play is that you can take damage onto your towers. It is not the end of the world. Taking just enough damage so that your push on the opposite side, does damage, that's how you play Golem. But Zeros here, he never tried to defend, and 2 Musketeers do take down a tower really quickly.
We could kind of see that Zeros was not having his perfect momentum into the game yet. Maybe he still needs to adjust into the stage a little bit more, as he was having a hard time trying to defend against the 3 Musketeer, which is always an attack on both lanes. It's really hard to defend 2 at the same time, but we're jumping straight into game 2. Can he bring it back? This is only a best of 3 for the set each. One more game by Raiki Jones. We'll bring the set point to bonus sport. Let's get into game 2.
Once again, Raiki Jones in blue at the bottom and Zeros in red at the top. Both these players just waiting for the first move to be made, waiting at that 10 elixir mark.
So it was the Golem deck from Zeros by banning Infernal Dragon. That didn't really work out his way, as Raiki Jones also had not a quick cycle, but instead a 3 Musketeer deck that a lot of Japanese players used to play a lot.
Yeah, we see the Miner here. Miner is a very good chip card, which means we could see that chip graveyard poison Miner deck that we do see quite a lot. We see a pump put in the back. The pump is an interesting choice with the Miner and Ice Golem. Kind of means that we're expecting a very, very heavy card there that will make use of that pump. And there's a 3 Musketeers again.
Yeah, it had to be the 3 Musketeers, as the Fireball to respond actually gets 1 to the other side. Oh, Battle Ram all of a sudden.
Yeah, Tombstone is good there. Does distract, uses the flying machine in the back. That will do great work here against what is left over. But the 1 Musketeer on the side and the Miner doing so much damage on that top right-hand side.
The real problem is that he's getting all the pump. He's getting all the elixir value out of the elixir collector on the bottom. Raiki Jones, he's smiling. He's winning this one continuously. He even has more elixirs because of all that help.
Yeah, Zeros just hasn't got a punish for that pump as it is right now. He does have Fireball, but he used it against the 3 Musketeers, and he is not punishing this pump again. Zeros puts down the Lava Hound. Is he going to be able to make this work? There's only 469 damage on that tower, and we see the Minion Horde and the Battering Ram on the left-hand side. If this connects, this is going to be very, very bad for Zeros.
Very nice use. Got hit onto all of them, but these Barbarians still do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they did receive a buff. Balloon play behind there, and the 3 Musketeers. 2 of them are going to town, but that balloon is undamaged. It is going to go for the tower. Gets
okay,
1
we
drop.
Get all together. Let's get 2.
Almost got 2 drops there, but both of Zero's towers are incredibly low. Does he have anything to defend? The Miner put down on the left-hand side will finish that up. Those Barbarians also will clean that up. 2 towers down for Zeros, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. 30 seconds remain.
Only 30 seconds. And Raiki Jones, he's got his hands off the device. He knows that he's got this game. Lava Hound, very slow still, and there's a Mini Horde to clean everything up. Seems like Zeros, he's been lost in this game. Can he actually do some damage to bring at least 1 tower down? It's going to be super hard. He's going for 3 crowns.
Yeah, the 3 crowns here is a bit showing off, but he does deserve it. He has played so well this game. Tower's going down. Is it going to go down in time? He does
get it!
Just about 3 crowns there for Raiki Jones against Zeros. Incredible play by Raiki Jones, and you can tell that taking this 1 set lead this early is super important for his team.
What a player! Look at that ceremony, how happy he actually is. Playing Clash Royale and winning. And celebrating with a 2-0. That brings one up for Proto Sports. Best of 5 here for set score. Zeros, he was late. And how do you actually deal with the 3 Musketeer? Because once the Elixir Pump is down there, you want to use your spell, which is a Fireball, on that, damaging the tower as well. But if you use that, you don't have to cycle to hit for the next 3 Musketeer. So he had to answer that question quickly enough. In this game, he did not.
Yeah, he didn't answer it quickly enough, and I don't think he had the tools to answer it either. Like a poison would have been nice, something like that, and he only had a zap and the fireball.
So let's take a look at the highlight and the replay of the first 2 games.
Yeah, that Hog Rider did so much work going down that left-hand side. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hits. Almost got the 4th off there, but look at the damage on both those towers. Hog Rider did so much work. And here we see the 2 Musketeers absolutely just cleaning that tower up. That zap was late. Not necessary. I think he should have sacrificed that tower at that point. There was no need to zap there.
And then maybe just force some other units onto the powerful push of the Golem. Try to get at least 1 tower down. I think the sacrifice you talked about. Might have been some better plays coming out from Zeros. I think he was really not really answering the right question, or having the wrong answer against the 3 Musketeer. Raiki Jones had a different deck, of course, but still against the 3 Musketeer, both lanes, I think that was the main problem that he had in game 1 and 2.
Yeah, not getting that second drop there is very painful. It was so close to dropping. But unfortunately, the Lava Hand went down probably like 1 second too quickly. The Musketeers cleaned it up, and they retargeted onto that balloon, taking it out.
You can't just ignore the battle rams. They actually charge up quicker now, and they will actually strike into the towers a lot easier than before.
Yeah, I mean, that Valkyrie just tried to take away the aggro from those minions, but there was just enough there to get that win. And getting 3 crowns on a big stage like this with the crowd in front of you, that has got to feel amazing.
3 crowns in competitive, it is not too common. I would say maybe 1 in 13, 14 games of 1v1. We rarely have 1 crown with the overtime just finishing with 3 minutes up.
Yeah, it's very rare that we see 2 crown. I say it's rare seeing 2 crown, but it's even rarer seeing that 3 crown. It's like a unicorn. Occasionally you might see 1, but I mean, it's super rare. Almost mythical. But the 2v2, I don't know where I was going with that. The 2v2, Proto Sports, Tengod and Mikanboya here. 7 wins, 2 losses. These 2 also have great synergy in 2v2.
Basically, the best duo in Ponos for sure. They have been together for such a long time. And the reason why this is the best lineup for them, having Raiki Jones' first game, Mikanboya Tengod back in pennant rated, it used to be best of 3. And then if they lost in the first one or the second one, they just had Mikanboya as a cleanup duty. That's the ace game all the time. Of course, best of 5, different format, but still the best 2v2 teams up on stage right here. And the other one, of course, game win.
Yeah, Shun and KK have played 5 games together. They've lost 1 and won 4. 2-0. They lost 0-2 to OG and Enters. 2-1 against Chaos Theory. 2-0 against Sandbox. And 2-1 against Brent Esports.
Game with something other thing that I was looking up when I was preparing for the finals was that they have the highest average of win rate of, if you add 1v1 and 2v2 all together, between all 12 teams. And that's why they are in the final. They came straight to the final without the playoff. They were standing here, they were waiting at the top spot, and they just have to reach for that crown right now and grab it, but they are getting further away from it. They lost set 1, and they have to bring it back in this 2v2.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Mikanboya and Tengod have basically only played 2v2 together from the wildcard in the postseason. They beat Fav Gaming 2-0. They beat AHQ Esports Club 2-0. They beat Kingzone 2-0. Together, these 2 are an unstoppable force upon us.
Game with their team logos to create more enjoyable gaming experience. You have to enjoy. Set 1, Zeros. I don't think they were enjoying that too much. Maybe some stage experience, lack of that. I think that hit them really hard. But right now, just having some time adjusting the height of the device right now, as you can see on the camera.
Yeah, it's
pretty high tech.
I mean, high tech. You could just put a couple of books underneath it, raise it
Oh,
up.
look at that! It's actually going
But it's
up and
yeah,
down.
it's extendable. It's
High
telescope.
quality monitor, just like that.
I will say that as a tall person, it is incredibly frustrating to play at anything other than the right height. And if I was there, they'd probably have to prop up the stage a good foot or two, because I'm a head and shoulders above everyone else.
Well, we also have, of course, Expo Master at the venue and watching this finals. Of course, they did drop out last weekend against Ponos, who's standing on the stage. Actually, Mikanbuya actually just waved at Expo Master as well. So they're having a great time, but the setups, you just have to get all the angles together. You can't have reflections on the screen from the lights. You can't have any dust on the screen. You just have to have perfect condition to play this 2v2. It is the finals. And we will get the reveal of the banned cards. What's it gonna be? Usually,
Tornado.
Usually tornadoes and poisons. But we have seen lots of difference.
Tornado and again the Inferno Dragon. Interesting.
So when the Inferno Dragon was banned in 2v2, we saw lots of those flying machines and even some Sparkies out there, because it's a lot tougher to get those golems down, the P.E.K.K.A.s down, the giants down, even the Royal Giant popping out suddenly all of a sudden. And you have to look into the style of these teams. 2v2, Ponos, they actually grind their way out all the way to the end, chipping the damage a lot, even with the golem. But game with, they always have something else, something hidden, like the Royal Giant. They don't use it till the last 30 seconds. Then suddenly with the rage, they pop both of them in and they just stretch into the tower and win. I think they will try to have that similar strategy with the studies that Ponos have been doing. I think they already know that for sure.
Yeah, and if Game With are not prepared for that, like log bait, spell bait, 2v2 deck that we've seen so much from Ponos Sports, then I don't know what to say. That is the deck we've seen so much recently. So I do feel that we are going to see at least something that could answer that. A log, arrows, Valkyrie, Witch. We're going to see, I guarantee we're going to see Witch in this match. Witch is just too good in 2v2. But, you know, there's a lot of things to see. You can't see G-Clef right now choking to death next to me. But we do have another 2 minutes here. And the Tornado ban, we have to say, is the most common 2v2 ban that we see because it is so good. Activating your King Tower early on in a match is just downright dirty. It does so much extra defense with those 2 towers just going ham on absolutely everything.
And you know what's been on the ladder? I'm alive, Simon. Thanks for that.
No problem.
Tornado, along with lots of the units, even the bowler, lots of wizard, all that happening, but it is banned, so you can't really use that. I think that could have been a strategy that they have been preparing a little bit. Of course, Ponos, they were going to ban Tornado, so they'll practice there, but for Game With, might actually strike them a little bit. Bowler Tornado, Wizard Tornado has been a very popular combo in the recent 2v2s.
I'm pretty sure Game With prepared this 2v2 without Tornado because it has been banned so many times that I feel like any Clash Royale League Asian team that is not practicing without Tornado is doing themselves a disservice. You know what I mean?
I think it has to do with the synergy of the spells that they're going to have, mostly likely Golem, but we did see lots of giant skeletons as well. It comes down to this final 2v2. We only have one in the best of 5 finals here. And lots of graveyards as well. We saw double graveyard and the freeze spell, just freezing everything up. Make sure you do tons of damage with the skeletons and it just totally destroys the towers.
We still could see a splash yard deck. We could still see the bowler with the graveyard and the miner. Very possible deck, but I don't know how it performs in 2v2. I know in 1v1 it has made a bit of a resurgence. It was a previous meta, maybe 2016, 2017, around that era. And right now it's come back with a vengeance. The buffs to, I don't know, with Witch, sorry, the buffs to Witch has definitely helped out Bowler's cause because he can deal with that Witch so easily.
We even saw the bomb tower against the Golem, which actually worked once great, but when the opponent actually brings air units against it, can't really defend it too much. He only takes the damage from the air units and goes down. You can't really do air attack from the bomb tower.
Yeah, but we are about to get into this 2v2 between Ponos Sports, Mikanboy and Tengod, and Shun and KK for game with.
Already a barrel. We're in 2v2.
Yeah, answered instantly with the arrows. Let's take a look at what we can see. Magic Archer. We can see Teslas. 2 Teslas is it's strong.
Double the Tesla. I think this is the different variation.
We see Princess going down the left-hand side. That's mainly to avoid the poison that would have come on that Magic Archer. You want to try and separate your damage, at least in these early stages, but is it even, it's not, oh, there we go, just about. The Tesla Tower there did pull the Princess to the aggro of the Lava Hand and Mega Minion, but the Dark Goblin, such a good card here. Going to town, the Miner will take it out though.
Getting those down super important. This is a variation deck with 2v2. Instead of the Rascals, you actually have the Tesla. And a few other spells in, as they have lots of them together. Poison, Log, and even the Rockets we do see.
Yeah, beautiful Log there, taking out the barrel, taking out the Valkyrie just in time. And the bats instantly exploded by those fire spirits.
You didn't even get to see those spirits. Just heard them explode. Magic Archer, depending on the placement, could survive for such a long time, just like the Goblin. Dark Goblin.
Yeah, it can also deal so much damage to the tower if it does get that right angle. But the Dark Goblin there cleaning up absolutely everything with the poison. It's just so good. And the Dark Goblin actually walked in front of the Valkyrie. You want that Valkyrie in front to tank for it.
Oh,
that's
yes.
unfortunate for game with
Still
there.
Princess doing the damage, so I think they're okay. They had the attack going on both sides. They have double the Tesla as well.
Valkyrie also managed to get to the tower. There's the Lumberjack. The Valkyrie will make sure work it out with that Tesla Tower as well. And that does rage up everything here. The Fire Spirits do connect onto the bats. There is a Miner on the back, and he is raged up. He's taking out these cards.
This rage is actually very effective with the Lumberjack.
Oh,
There's
and
a freeze now. Let's see how much damage the Miner actually and the Pubs actually do. So we'll connect a lot of the damage, especially with the Electro Wizard there, stopping all the Princess Tower damage as well.
Yeah, getting down to 243 on that top right-hand side tower. Ponos Sports have a very, very strong advantage right here. But Game With are not known for giving up at any time, and they're going to keep going.
Another Log gets the response with the arrow. But the main problem has been those small ones with long range. Magic Archer, Dark Goblin, and the Princess all together. And they managed to defend all against the small, big units coming in.
Yeah, that Magic Archer didn't get the angle it needed onto that tower, and the Dark Goblin does get caught up in the range of that Log. This is going to be dangerous.
From Ponos, and they need a few more spells and Miners to take it out, and Poison.
They're going to need 27 more damage. They have arrows. That will take it. Ponos Sports do take game 1 in set number 2, and are now 1 game away from making this 2-0.
Simon, is this happening again? Are we going to have that magic 6-0 that they had against the first place from Southeast Asia? We were wondering, because Game Win, as you're saying, they weren't on stage for such a long time.
Yeah, they've probably, I say probably, there is a very strong chance that they have been rusty. They haven't played for almost 1 month. And that does get to you. You know, you lose that stage lack of fear. You're scared. You're looking at all these people in the audience, and it is a very busy audience right now. That can get to you. That can get in your head and affect your play.
And so far, they didn't call for a timeout. I think right now is not a bad time for a timeout, but so far, the coach wants to trust in their players, and they're going to stick with it.
Yeah, I think calling set 3 or set 4 is a better choice. Going 2-0 down now, yes, it's very risky, but saving your timeout for when it actually matters is super important. You need to calm down your players. And losing this 2v2, sure, okay, whatever, you're going to lose it. But losing the next 1v1 as well, that is arguably more important.
Maybe waiting for the last chance for your team because it is a best of 5. Maybe the final one, if you're down 2-0, then maybe that's the time you should consider using that timeout. But so far, the momentum has been on Ponos so heavily since set 1, 2-0, very dominant. Even set 2, their attacks were actually landing even against 2 Tesla, which I thought was pretty effective against the Lava Hounds.
Yeah, it should have done so much more. That double Tesla defense is crazy amounts of damage, but it just didn't work out. They shut it down almost instantly and managed to always just get something on the tower.
And Ponos Sport, they managed their spell so well. They defended almost near perfectly against all the barrels that came in, but that's already gone. That's already done. We have game 2 under our way between Ponos Sports and GameWith. Let's get into the arena.
All right, taking a look here. Once again, Ponos Sports in blue at the bottom, GameWith red at the top, and we start instantly with the Lava Hound.
Oh, and we see the balloon and the freeze.
Lava Hound Balloon Freeze is a very good combo. The Magic Archer here again didn't get any angles onto that tower last time. Will he be able to do it this time? There's the balloon. The freeze will be coming almost soon.
Do have the Tesla as a response, so that's not too bad for GameWith.
Freeze.
That freeze, I don't know exactly about that. Seems like they just want to let that go right now.
I think maybe they were expecting it to go down a little bit earlier than it did. That would have froze the Tesla, but no worries. We can see Mika Mboya raising his hand, telling Tenga, don't worry, it's okay. We have no issues here.
That was an early one, and they do have to look for the later cycle. And with using that mistake, GameWith, I think they want to push in here. That's why they have the Graveyard and the Giant pushing it now.
Yeah, this is a very scary push. They need minions on the defense here, but their skeletons are going to get a few hits. We can see, Giant gets shut down before he gets anywhere near the tower.
And they tried their own attack onto the left side as well. I'm talking about Ponos, but the trade has a little bit. The minions actually getting quite a lot of hit down below 2k.
Yeah, both teams relatively balanced right now. I'd say that Ponos Sports have a little bit of an advantage, but GameWith definitely have a very good deck this time.
The thing is, they used the balloon freeze already, so GameWith, they are sure, they know what the attack is going to be like. They should be prepared for that moment, which should be coming in anytime soon. That's a Hunter. That's not a bad one as a defensive tool either.
Yeah, they might want to hold on to that freeze, because if you use it too much, your opponent will expect it. So now GameWith, they know it's in hand, but they don't know when Ponos are looking to use it. They might use it on the defense. Good call. We see the poison come down to defend. Oh no, to defend his own graveyard.
That's actually offensive and defensive poison used at the same time. So we saw the guard and the skeleton going down at the same time. But the real push, little more push coming down from GameWith. Hunter gets one shot fired, and
Flying Machine also gets one shot, and that does put GameWith in a decent lead now. 600 hit points on the tower more than their opponent. There's the graveyard punishing that Lava Hound. Poisons come down. Lumberjack is there to make sure, but there's so much there.
There are so many things that are following up, connecting a little bit of damage with the poison as well. But you have to see the counterattack from Ponos. See the miners going straight to the tower now. Yeah, and the freeze, the damage does not really connect. Miner is already gone, seems like.
Yeah, and the Fire Spirits helped clean everything else up. Those pups could have done so much work under that freeze, but they just never quite got the opportunity.
Yeah, pop that lava a little bit closer to the bridge because they were going to take shots. Wanted to delay as much as possible. Double that Lava Hound now.
Yeah, the double Lava Hound is a very risky play. If this fails, it could all go horribly wrong for Ponos Sports here. There's the balloon. We're going to see there is no freeze in hand. That balloon is on its own. The bat's coming to defend. Zapped away, but goes down. Very good defense there from GameWith.
There are just way too many defensive units against that air. So I don't think Balloon will be connecting to it unless they have the perfect freeze. Now they do have it in hand. Still 220 to go.
Yeah, I'm going to say that we're going to definitely see that freeze on the next attack. And there's the graveyard. There's the poison. Freeze on the defense, not on the offense. Needed But this is still so risky now from Pono Sports.
They
Do
had
they have
to
enough
delay
left?
against the graveyard, only had the poison, and Lumberjack just going down Hunter. Still very safe, so had to buy time. With Lava Hound taking a lot of damage because of it.
Yeah, that Lava Hound was definitely needed to make sure nothing else connected to that tower.
Oh, they did the balloon right after the Tesla, so if this actually goes through, that's going to be Tesla gone.
The freeze is in hand, they're waiting for the energy. Goes down just before they get the elixir for it.
Takes all the air units down, just the one, but Lumberjack is on it. They're doing so much damage to the freeze coming in, and that's going to be a tower down. Putos, they will take this 2-0 again in set number 2.
Wow, what a 2v2 here from Ponos. Incredible play here. And it looks like Mikanboya wanted that celebration a little bit earlier, but Tenga just was too overwhelmed from that game. That was incredible.
I don't think we can capture that with just an incredible. That was over 90,000 of excitement level. They just had a massive push. They were baiting that Tesla tower, making sure that Tesla was used before the balloon, and the moment it dropped right after, they had the balloon, and then freeze right after, just at the same time. They even had the Lumberjack to follow up all that.
There was just so much left over from that offense on Pono Sports that tower just didn't stand a chance. GameWith used a lot of elixir just before that push, and they never got to push that into an attack, and that's what cost them the game. They were in such a good position in probably the second third of that match.
Both of the teams, I do have to say, they're playing a little bit different compared to their usual matches. I think it's the excitement and the energy you get from the stage. Feels like for the first time, Japanese teams actually feeling like they're rushed. They're rushing, they're bridge spamming a lot, they're making the opponent to counteract all the time, not really having the perfect setup here.
Maybe that's because, you know, we expect that slow, patient offense that we see a lot from the Japanese teams. And both of these teams know that's what's expected from them, so they're changing it up. They're playing more bridge spam. But in that 2v2, they did play Lava Hound a lot, which, you know, is counteractive to that point. Here we see that freeze way too late.
A little bit late, and they just say, oh, that was a mistake, let's let it go, and we continue. The attack from GameWith, not too bad. Giant pushed all the way in. It got at least 1-2 punches. And but the graveyard poison, that 9 elixir combo was all countered with a single poison with 4.
But they did get a lot of hits on that tower. We cannot deny that. Look how much damage was done. But here, this was important. That looked like GameWith had such a strong chance.
Even in overtime, the Tesla was a problem. There were lots of defensive units, but look at that attack right after the miner to get all the damage done. And Lumberjack, if you let that one go, it will bring the tower down, even the freeze, to perfectly solidify. Even the poison on top, we missed that.
Yeah, even if that Mega Minion... Sorry, the Mega Minion there was super important because it tanked the Fire Spirits. If that Mega Minion had been on the opposite side and everything was bunched up, those Fire Spirits would have defended that push. Luckily, or should I say planned by Pono Sports there, was to make sure that Mega Minion was on the side and it took the aggro from the Fire Spirits.
Now that's 2-0. Best of 5. You only need one more win. If Fuchi versus Amaterasu, that's going to be the 3rd set for this best of 5. But if Fuchi actually brings one more game up for themselves, it will be the end.
Yeah.
And that's gonna, but before we get into set number 3, we do have a short commercial break. So we will be back with set number 3 very soon. Welcome back, Royale League Asia. We have Honus up 2-0. Can you believe this, Simon? It is the finals.
I mean, I'm used to watching esports like this where it always ends like 3-0 and you're sitting there like, this is the finals. I was expecting like a great match. But this has been a great match so far. Game with by no means are being dominated here.
I think they are struggling to really find success in their own strategy. I think their plan A and what they're trying to do in plan B is not really working out for their 1v1 and 2v2 together. So we did have this result of 4-0, 2-0 first set, 2-0 second set. That is exactly what we have. Honus leading, and they only need one more.
Yeah, but Amaterasu is kind of the anchor for this game with the team. He is such a good player, and he brings so much energy to the team that if he can find his groove in this next match, I think GameWith can turn this back around.
They need to. They do need to. They drop one more, they are gone. Yeah. So they have to. They have to bring it back. Amaterasu, whatever it takes. And this is, I think, the moment. If he drops one game, there has to be a timeout. You have to collect themselves. Coach said that you got this. You have to, of course, it's lots of pressure on the stage with hundreds of audience right now at the venue.
Yeah, you really need to use that 2v2 at this kind of point where you have, you know, the balance of the game could go either way. You could either turn it around or you could just lose it straight out. This is the perfect timing for that timeout, but we can see Fuchi on the screen. That 1v1 record, 2 wins, 10 losses, and I think he got those 2 wins last week.
Not too good for sure. And that's a pretty low percentage. And I can't do math off the top of my head, but the 1v1s that he had played, he was trying lots of the slow ones, like the P.E.K.K.A, some of the golems in 1v1, and not really connecting all together. A long time ago when this season started, it's about 8 weeks ago, he tried some 3 Musketeers, and he didn't really have the perfect plan against the Poisons. So I do remember those games.
Yeah, looking at Fuchi's record right now, the only player he has won a game against is Expo Master, and he still ended up losing the set. He lost 2-0 to Shun, 2-0 to Hole, lost 2-1 against Expo Master, 2-0 Kangxi from AHQ Esports Club, and then lost once again to Expo Master last week 2-1. But Amaterasu.
Here we have Amaterasu from GameWith, using lots of guard Valkyrie and also the Rascals. It used to be the Rascals, but he had to change that a bit after the balance. They never really got their chance to show on stage what they are in holding. I think this is another chance. Zeros in the first set, having the Golem, the Lava Hound, way too slow for this 1v1 in the meta right now.
Yeah, and we're gonna see the ban cards coming up. Valkyrie banned for Fuchi, and once again that Inferno Dragon banned for GameWith. What do they know about Inferno Dragon that we don't?
There has been few decks, not too common compared to everything else, but few actually, including the Inferno Power, and on 2v2 as well. And that has been slowly coming up in the Grand Challenge as well. Maybe that's what they're thinking. Ban the Inferno Dragon, make sure you have the Inferno Power. But this also hints, again, if it's the same strategy just like Zero said in set 1, a Golem one, right? A pretty heavy one, or the P.E.K.K.A, or the giant variation of that.
Well, so far we've seen from GameWith, we saw the Golem in set 1, Lava Hound in set 2. So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to put out this time, but the Inferno Dragon ban all 3 matches. That's worrying for me. A little bit worrying, I would say, because it almost seems like they're not targeting their bans to the players. They're more banning because they just don't like this card.
We will see. I think the Valkyrie ban hits a lot because Valkyrie is right now the card that's in most of the decks, I would say. It used to be the Rascals, but now it's the Valkyrie actually doing tons of action, and all she needed was a very not minor buff onto her hit points, and also the first swing a little bit faster. That was all she needed.
Also, I think with the rise of the Witch, I think Valkyrie has found her place in most decks because of that. The Witch has been so prevalent on ladder and in Grand Challenge that the Valkyrie is the perfect answer. She just spins away, down go the skeletons. Maybe that's why she seems so powerful right now, is because that meta is use the Witch. For most of us, not on stage, we haven't seen witches yet, surprisingly.
Yet, I don't think this is right now is the moment for GameWith to try anything too crazy. Right now, all they need all the stability that they need, all the comfort cards that they have played before. Because if they drop any more games, one more set, that's GG. The finals, they will lose that first place. They were the first from the pennant race. They don't want to drop down and become the second place and end as a second place winner from Royale League Asia.
Yeah, but they've been away for so long. Like, I think that might have something to do with it. They're just not. They just don't look as cohesive as they did in the regular season. They look very together. Their play style looked very flashy. They were really, really good. And right now, they just haven't found that groove, that balance that'll bring that style of play back for them.
Okay, certainly, it was not the same. Maybe Amaterasu, I think this could be the game for them. The set for them to actually swing everything around. They have their 3 minutes, 17 seconds. I think they should have all the decks prepared, of course. Just talking to them, making them getting used to the stage, because he will be alone in just 7 seconds.
Yeah, it's worth noting that the England soccer team as well, during penalties, where it's 1v1. No, you think talking about soccer here.
Okay, let's hear it first.
But they would talk to their player. The goalkeeper would give the ball instead of just throwing it at his teammate to calm him down, to calm down his nerves. It's really important to have that human factor when you are going to be standing there on your own. It gets you out of your own head.
I think that's what we need, especially for GameWith. And they do actually have a pretty nice one to continue. They do have Shun in waiting for that 4th set. Let's see if they ever get to that 4th set. That's what they need right now. Game set is now ready. Fuchi from Honosport. And we're going to have Amaterasu GameWith. Can they swing it back? Or is this going to be the final set of the finals? Royale League Asia. Let's get into set number 3.
So here we go. Fuchi for Ponos Sports in the blue at the bottom of the screen. Amaterasu in red at the top for GameWith. And Rascals here coming out for Fuchi.
Maybe just the Rascals cycle. There's no Valkyrie though, so we do have to think. What else do they have? We do have the Witch from Amaterasu.
It's been a long time coming, but there is the Giant on the opposite lane. One Rascal girl behind. Not going to do the most damage, especially when that Dark Prince there just finishes her off really quickly.
But Giant's still doing damage, and he wants to continue with the Lumina. Sparky!
It is very rude to call it a trash cannon. It's already taken out one victim. Is he going to take out the Witch? There it goes!
Yes, it's gone!
And the Sparky now slowly makes its way forward. Is it going to be able to reach the tower, or does Amaterasu have an Electro Wizard?
Hey, Simon, we were just joking around and saying there might be Sparky in the final, but look at this.
It's going to reach the tower.
No, it's not going to get the shot. It needed a lot more charging time. And Amaterasu, just knowing that, had somewhat of a defense, but the problem was the left side. He actually took a decent amount of damage from that Giant already. So look at the balloon going all in Fuchi right now.
Yeah, but that balloon is not taking any damage.
Untouched.
Does Amaterasu have no anti-air here?
He's willing to give that up for his own attack. Lumberjack with the rage.
Doesn't get anything.
Following up with anything.
Amaterasu has no air defense here.
He did not have maybe he just did not have the air defense at all.
He should have had Witch in hand. It should have been there in the cycle. There it is. Maybe trying to save that for a big push that's coming up next, but losing the tower, that's really bad. And there's the Sparky again. There's a Giant this time.
He just wanted to have that in his hand. And the arrows, a little bit of an help, but lightning before, actually, Sparky actually put out one right before that small stun. That will be keeping up.
Yeah, look at this now. Amaterasu's offense has just been cleared. Giant, Sparky, Balloon coming up that left-hand side. If this connects to the tower, it is going to be game over.
And the gumball even going in. The bats are helping the defense, and that's going down for short punch. And the drop from Balloon. 2 towers down. Fuchi leading. What's happening, Amaterasu? He's not thinking clearly right now. He doesn't really have the air units against anti-air too much.
Sparky is such a good card, and week in, week out, I keep saying that Sparky is super strong. And we're seeing it now. He's doing so much work on the defense here.
Right now, Paperton at home will be smiling just looking at that Sparky, but he wants to go for 3 crowns. Balloon, another punch. That's 3 crowns for Fuchi.
That is gonna hurt for Amaterasu. That was such a convincing victory here for Fuchi.
With a Sparky and the Balloon, the problem for Amaterasu in this deck, he knew, oh, with this deck, I cannot defend against the Balloon. I am lost, so might as well gather for my next attack, which was defended perfectly. With what? Sparky, we would have never guessed that was going to come out. We'd only make jokes on that Sparky. People call it trash can on wheels all the time. And look what it can do. 3 crowns already, twice today.
That's offensive to the Sparky calling it a trash can on wheels. I've said week in, week out, Sparky is such a good card. I think it has a 100% win rate right now.
In 1v1, I think. In 1v1
In
only.
1v1, yeah. Clash Royale League Asia, yeah. It has a 100% win ratio.
Did come out in 2v2 a few times against the Golems. It did its part, but didn't really turn out to a win in that game, I believe. But every time they use Sparky, it was a good one. Look at that. Only one game, a single game away from winning and grabbing the title of Clash Royale League Asia, the first champion. Puno Sports, they're only a single game away now.
Yeah, and it'll be in such convincing fashion too. They won set 1, 2-0. They won set 2, 2-0. If Fuchi can finish it up now, this will be one of the quickest finals in living history.
It may just be Amaterasu. He's lost. They have to call the timeout. There's no way. This is their last hope, last moment, which could be, or a big swing around.
Yeah, this could be the timeout that changes everything.
Just look, something. Shun right next to it. Please, please, I want to play next time. Please win, because I'm up next, because I can make it back. I can swing it back. Please. Bring it back somehow. I think that's exactly what he's talking to Amaterasu.
It's gonna hurt for Shun because, you know, Shun hasn't played in so long up on the stage.
He only played 1 2v2 and they lost 0-2 just now in set number 2. So he wants to play that 1v1 and that's where he excels. That's supposed to be a super crazy matchup against Mikambuya.
Yeah, I really want to see that Mikambuya Shun game really badly because that will be such an explosive fight. But it's down to Amaterasu. He is already 1 game down. If he loses the next game, it will all be over for game win.
It is a very tough time for Amaterasu, but Fuchi, who we thought was going to be one of those weaker 1v1 player from Puno Sport, making a crazy play with Sparky. What does he have in hand for the second game? Maybe the last game, Puno Sport on a match point for that finals, the Glory, the trophy that they're gonna get, or is it gonna be a game with Amaterasu? Turning everything around, he's still confident. Let's go into game 2, set number 3.
So here we go. This could be the last game of Clash Royale League Asia Season 1. Fuchi in blue for Puno Sports. Match point for Puno Sports at this point. Game with Amaterasu, gonna have to try and turn it all around. And we see the Night Witch already on the field.
A bandit may just be the bridge spam with lots of battle ram. It's a minor. Just a little bit of a swing there. Rascal should take the damage and should clear out easily.
The Rascal Boy takes that like a champ, and here is the Electro Wizard. That will finish off the Rascal Boy, and will finish off the Rascal Girl too.
And a Lava Hound from Amaterasu already setting up.
Perfect play here. Plays the Royal Ghost and the Bandit and the minions on the other side. Bandit connects. Royal Ghost is connecting. Those minions are going to clean up the minions from Amaterasu, and that tower is dead already. Fuchi! Already one tower.
There has been the momentum, the speed of Pono Sports in general today. That poison, I think, a little bit too early against the pups. That's going to explode after the poison.
Yeah, Amaterasu is going to be able to take this tower unless there is an Electro Wizard to finish that up. And a balloon on the other side for Amaterasu, supported by that minion horde. Will this connect to the tower, or will there be something to stop it?
Doesn't have the poison, doesn't have the Electro Wizard, so in...
Goes down the other side with the Bandit!
All in attack, but this can continue into the King Tower. He's got to defend this one first.
If he doesn't defend, this is all over!
Down to 15, and even 11 with the explosion. That's a very close one. After a single drop of balloon and the explosion with 3 more damage, it's going to be game over. So Fuchi has to think, which one do I actually have to defend right now?
Amaterasu played that perfectly. He allowed himself to take damage on that top right-hand side, knowing he would finish up that left side tower.
He has to get this one.
This is scary. The bats have connected. There's a P.E.K.K.A there, but that's not going to matter. The Lava Hound is dealing damage. The balloon on the other side, he's going to go straight for the King Tower. He doesn't even care about the the right-hand side tower.
And he gets the charger. He gets the 3 crowns, but the 3 crown is the momentum balloon. Gets one, and the explosion will actually be super close. That's going to be the game.
Amaterasu gambled there. Gambled so hard, and it paid off. Takes game number 2. Is this the turnaround that we need from Game With to make this go to set number 4?
Simon, that was one of the most explosive Clash Royale game that I have ever seen. The firepower from all those units, the explosions, the bomb damage was insane. There was no defense. There was minimum number of defense, and both players, they were just saying, I'm going all in. I don't care about the offense onto the other lane. I'm just going straight all in, getting all the charge, the dashes, minions, balloons, just let's go.
They just passed each other by every time. And I mean, when you're going against a balloon like that, you do not want to try and base race if you can help it. You need to slow that balloon down, because no matter what you have, the balloon is going to deal damage quicker. Especially with the Inferno Dragon being banned.
And there's also the guaranteed damage of the explosion. Once it connects to the tower, that's guaranteed right after. And Amaterasu, he's got a good bait with that Lava Hound and 3 of his attack. And then all of a sudden, a balloon for going for that King Tower. Everyone knew, even Fuchi, I'm pretty sure he knew also as well. But he had to defend it against the minions, and the Lava Hound had to drop that Electro Wizard. Could have been possible to just stop that balloon with the Electro Wizard on the left, but it was already used. And right after, instant after, great play by Amaterasu, just understanding the cycle of Fuchi there.
Yeah, and also great positioning by Amaterasu, because any other position in that balloon probably would have gone for that right-hand tower. He had to play it in the right spot so it would go straight to the King Tower, and that's what it did. Would you have expected that? Would you have expected the balloon to go almost naked, no defense around it, down that side? I wasn't expecting it to go there.
Amaterasu knew either the defense, either Fuchi defends the second Princess Tower or the King Tower, so he had to make a choice. And Fuchi, he knew with the tower down to 400 something, excuse me on that, 400 something, that's within. Because dash, if you place it at the center of the opponents, it will straight dash into the princess. It will just take it down. 400 is just enough, a matter of seconds to bring it down. So he knew that he could take it because he had the Royal Ghost. He had the Bandit. It's within the dash range very quickly. He was going to get that, but the main problem was his own defense, which he didn't call it. And they actually called the timeout. They want to finish this game right here and go take that trophy for themselves.
Do you blame them? That game was incredible. I think they need to just calm Fuchi down after that, because if he tries that same thing again, not defending and only attacking, that is not going to go well for him again.
And we're up on 1-1, still a match point for Pono Sport. They get one more game, and that was the reason why they had the timeout here. One more win for Fuchi. We'll have a 3-0 set score, and that will be the end of the finals. Amaterasu has got his first hand. One more rub for the team. Can he actually take the set and bring it to set number 4? We will see in game.
So once again, it is match point for Pono Sports' Fuchi. But Amaterasu in that last game turns it around a little bit. Takes game number 2, and will he be able to win again? This looks like the
start for both.
Are we watching a replay?
Oh, we are not. Okay, it is the minions now. Same start. Maybe they kept the same deck. We actually have very similar cycles as well. But it's a flying machine this time.
Yeah, that flying machine played there. Very interesting. The range on a flying machine is so large.
So long. And if you just leave it, it actually does damage to straight to the towers. Kind of like the Hog Rider because of that range.
It's a flying musketeer, basically, at this point. It's just a musketeer flying its own flying machine. But the Lumberjack does take out, the Electro Wizard does take out the Royal Ghost.
Seems like Amaterasu has chosen the path of the slow attack once again. This time it seems like it's going to be the Golem.
Yeah, those raged up goblins doing just a little bit of damage, slowly tickling away at that tower. 2266 remain. But those spear goblins do get 1 guaranteed hit every time they go against a tower like that.
And it used to be 50, but they do a little bit more. 67 damage now. Poison getting some value, but the Golem dropped right on top of the bridge.
This is great. Fuchi has already used his poison, which means the Night Witch is going to be able to get value. Pekka here trying to defend as much as possible, but the Mega Minion and those bats and the Night Witch are going to make short work of him. Uses the arrow.
Oh, the arrow takes everything out. That's a tower down. Can he do it? Can Amaterasu swing this back for his team? I think he's getting closer every single time.
Yeah, this looks like the Golem deck that Zero's played in game number 1 or 2 earlier on in this match.
Yes, he did.
And Amaterasu is showing how this deck is supposed to be played. Royal Ghost Summon on the right. We have Goblin Huts going left. You does use the Miner to take out that hut. The Night Witch slowly taking down that bandit.
He's waiting for that cycle.
I think Amaterasu is waiting to bait out the poison maybe at this point, because he wants Night Witch to deal a lot of damage.
And he's holding in that Golem for now. He can also use that Golem to buy time. Only 30 seconds remaining in this game. It's still pretty healthy of a tower on that right side. Miner luckily getting a few shots now.
And Lumberjack is a great defense. It deals so much damage. Will we see the Golem get popped down now? He does have enough elixir for it. Amaterasu still holding on. Summons that Night Witch in the back, which means we could see in the front a Golem to make sure that the bandit doesn't get anywhere near.
I think he's going to. Look at that Rogue Giant. Rogue Ghost actually straight shot. That's going to be enough damage. It's 1-1 tie. He's swinging it back just before the overtime.
Yeah, I feel like Amaterasu should have thrown down that Golem there. That would have slowed down that push long enough that he could have defended. Amaterasu now has to take it back. He has to sit down. He has to make sure that his push works. Once again, he tried to defend, didn't work. He has to go on the offensive again.
Because the Royal Ghost actually does a swing, it swings, it hits more than a target. It hit the Night Witch and the tower together, and that was just enough. Perfectly timed for Fuchi.
Poison on the Night Witch here does nullify her almost completely. We see the Golem go down. That's still a very healthy Pekka. A very healthy. Oh, there's so much hit points here. Another Pekka summoned in the pocket. Lumberjack trying to defend, but if that Pekka gets anywhere near that tower, it will be game over.
Trying everything. Putting down the flying machine.
Oh, does get it down.
Everything down before that single swing.
Yeah, the Royal Ghost there went for the King Tower instead of the Princess Tower. Whoa, that was close. Amaterasu almost lost it there.
Fuchi leading, because in terms of the hit points onto the tower, he is losing at the moment. But he just has to have perfect defense. Amaterasu, you can't really have the Miner to chip it down.
Golem summoned in the pocket, and Pekka is already on its way to the bridge. Pekka and Flying Machine here. Will they make it? But look at that, Pekka is getting closer and closer to the tower. Has to summon a Night Witch to defend. Does defend successfully. Both those Golemites are going down here. Does summon the poison to clean up as well.
Down to almost, even lower than 4 digits after the poison damage. Amaterasu still holding in, gets all the charge.
Oh, connects onto the Lumberjack.
But the Miner is still hitting that tower, so getting
all the damage
chipped in. Even
so
the Royal
damage.
Ghost having 2 swings. That's about it, but I think we are about tied, about even as possible.
Yeah, this is crazy right now. This could go in anyone's favor. We could even end this last minute in a tie. Nightwish Summon at the back, which means we're probably going to see a Golem. There it is. He needs to defend from the front. That Nightwish cannot squeeze past that Golem. It does block the route. Bats here are going to get taken out by the Electro Wizard. The Royal Ghost
Maybe
is
the
there.
final attack for both players here. That's dropped poison for both sides. Bandit trying to get the charge. And
but it goes to the Golemite.
Golemite instead. That's a big problem for Fuchi.
And there's still so much here. The Lumberjack is going to connect to the tower. Doesn't quite, but the Rage does get dropped on top. Mega Minion doesn't deal any damage. Miner coming up underneath. Gets one hit on the tower, gets two, but has Amaterasu summons that Golem on the defense. If he'd done that just before the overtime, we might have seen a different ending here. There's 809 remaining.
Poison does take down the Nightwish as well. Has a P.E.K.K.A against the Golem, which is already damaged, so I don't think it's going to go too close to the tower. And we may just have a tie right here.
Yeah, a tie would be a nuts conclusion to this game. Amaterasu looked like he had it in the bag, but didn't quite, and he knows, look at his face, he knows that was his game to lose. That was his game to lose the victory. He ties it up, both players right now looking exhausted after that.
Incredible plays. Inch perfect, square perfect on their placements. That was close, and Fuchi wanted to have some opportunity for the Bandit to go charge into the tower, direct damage, but never really happened. Amaterasu on top of things, whenever that happened, dropped the Lumberjack or anything else that was going to block, even the Nightwish sometimes against that dash. So he kept his own tower pretty safe. He was losing the elixir a little bit, but he also had the Golem. Very nice push all the time. That was a great draw, but we are going to the fourth game now.
Yeah, when it's a tie, we keep playing sets until somebody actually wins. And I have to say, that Golem, I think if he just summoned the Golem in front, if he had it in cycle, we'd have seen that game end in regular time. But he went for the Nightwitch, he went for the Mega Minion. Maybe he didn't have the Golem in hand, maybe it was the next card in the cycle. And because of that, the Bandit connects to the tower and finishes it off right now. Ties it up.
It was also Fuchi just reading the slow tempo and using his speed as an advantage because he oftentimes does dash, lots of the small units, and also P.E.K.K.A that was also slow. So he has to time his own units against all the slow units. So Fuchi and also Amaterasu playing a great game of Clash in Game 3.
Yeah, and once it went into overtime, Fuchi always had Amaterasu on the back foot. It always felt like Amaterasu had to defend. Fuchi, sure, he defended great, but he was just so aggressive the whole time and made Amaterasu defend. Fuchi was defending from the front.
We had both timeout called already, and you can only have one in the match.
So it is going to be once again match point for Bono Sports. Will they be able to take it here?
We will see, as Amaterasu seemed pretty confident. Gonna defend his own tower to finish off, but we are moving on with that draw into Game 3. To go into game number 4. Still on a match point, Amaterasu seems like he's got this with confidence. Let's get into the arena.
All right, once again, match point for Fuchi. Amaterasu dealt so much damage last time, had the lead for such a long time, but eventually was chipped away by Fuchi, and Amaterasu is in red for game 3.
A log from Fuchi already hints that he's off to a different deck this time. Not the Bandit one that charges in anymore with the P.E.K.K.A.
Yeah, we don't see any emotion from Amaterasu. That could be a poker face. Maybe he does have the log bait here, and we've already seen the log go out of cycle, but both players waiting for this double elixir time. We do see this quite often, and I'm going to say that every time I think I've seen this go down like this in a final, the player who is match point wins.
You mean Ponos in this case, right?
Ponos in this case, yeah.
And when we get down to the minute mark, and then maybe Elixir Collector being dropped down, the one to have the slower push usually loses with the Golem because the opponent actually has something like the Batter Ram, the Bandit, and Royal goes straight charges in, does a lot more damage because once you drop the golem, you only have 2 elixirs. You can only defend against so quick of a unit. You can't really deal against that too quickly.
Yeah, so what is going to happen for the viewers at home, once we get around 1 minute 10, 1 minute 15, we're going to see people just throw units onto this field, and it is going to be absolutely crazy.
Oh, look at Fuchi. He's gathering every single energy in this arena to himself, and look at he's shaking his fingers right now at the moment.
Send him your energy if you want Fuchi to finish this up for Ponos Sports.
And also Amaterasu for game win could actually go for set 4 and also set 5 for that all kill. 1 minute mark, here we go. Double elixir time.
Nightwish summoned at the back for both players, and they're going down opposite lanes. Golem as well for Fuchi. Lava Hound for Amaterasu.
That's a different one.
Slightly different decks from these, and there's the balloon.
But the balloon will make it so much quicker. Lumberjack pushing.
Oh, this looks like Amaterasu has this. The baby dragon is summoned, but it's not going to deal too much. Just summon the land, and it's hard to tell who's going to win.
You know, that's a tower down for both. Are they going for 3 crowns? The golem very strong, as well as the balloon does go down. So for the golem with the rage on, Fuchi wants to go for 3 crowns, going straight in right now. Tornado getting it pulled a little bit more, but the Lumberjack will connect!
There's so much there for Fuchi! It looks like Fuchi's gonna finish it up! Ponos Sports take the victory here! 3 crown in that game. That is it! Ponos Sports win 3-0 on final day.
That's gonna be it. 3 crowns of 3 crowns of 3 crowns. Back to back, and having so many from 2 from Fuchi, 1 from Raiki Jones in this 1v1. That is not too common, but we do finish the entire set. And it is going to be 3-0. We even had a draw in game number 3, but with game 4, we never got to see what Shun and Mick and Booyah was going to play that 1v1, but it seemed like the momentum, as we talked about, Ponos Sport, they started from the wild cards, through the semi-playoff and the playoff into the final. They have made it. They have completed their way. They are going to be the champion, the first champion of Clash Royale League Asia.
Yeah, they have had such a good run, and they have played so many great teams. They beat Sandbox, who were in their own run. They beat Kingzone Dragon X, AHQ Esports Club to get here. And then they just take game with and made it look like nothing.
Who was actually the first place from the pennant race for the 8 weeks of play.
That Sparky game feels like a lifetime ago. I don't know about you, but that Sparky game felt like a whole different set. But the balloon takes it out there. And we see again, balloon on the other side. This time takes out the other tower and then just goes straight for the 3 crowns.
And look at that, for all the Sparky fans out there, well, that's your game right there. All goes back to you in game 2. Thought Amaterasu had a big swing after losing this one. He has got the tower, and then he just continued his way in with the balloon. Look at that.
Yeah, he just crazy here. If he'd have dropped the golem there, I think he would have won.
It was going to be tough at the moment, and it was going to be very slow. So Amaterasu gets to swing in back into the series. Tie up 1-1, we go into game 3.
I think this is the one with the golem on the defense. Yeah, sorry, I thought it was game 2. But yeah, we see here, he takes that tower so quickly. And here, Royal
look at that swing. The Royal Ghost actually swings Nightwitch and the tower together. 2 swings, even more.
I think with the golem in the way, that would have stopped, but he probably didn't have it in cycle. And here, we just see the P.E.K.K.A. They got so close to that tower, they almost took it out. And here the defense is just strong on both sides.
It was a very long game with lots of great defense from both players and offense. It's slow-mo almost like, but that was a tie that was strong. We go into game 4, which was the final one. And look at this play. Which one wins? The race was on for that 3 crown.
Yeah, I feel like that could have been anybody's game. But that baby dragon on the defense down there did so much work for Fuchi.
Actually got a lot of the units down. Look how happy Fuchi is at that moment. He jumped off the podium there.
Oh, that was some incredible clash in that last match. Wow.
And we actually have a 3-0. We thought what we could be a full set series, but that's going to be it. But we will have an award ceremony right after very soon. We have the winners. We present the award. We also have some special awards as well. So we will be back after a short commercial break.
자, 클래시 로얄 리그 아시아 2018을 빛낸
Welcome to the
선수들과
award ceremony.
성적을 기록한 팀들에게 시상을 하는 이제 대망의 시상식을
About
진행해 보도록
all the
하겠습니다.
prize and the awards for all the teams. We'll have a prize for 1v1, best 1v1, best 2v2, the most wins, and the winners for the final match today.
자, 그럼 우선 2018 클래시 로얄 리그 아시아에서 1대1에서 가장 좋은 활약을 보여줬던 베스트 1대1 플레이어,
First of all, we will have the best
베스트
1v1,
듀오상 그리고
best
최다
2v2,
승상까지 함께 먼저 시상을 하도록 하겠습니다.
and the most win all the prizes.
오지엔의 윤재웅 국장님께서 함께 해주시겠습니다. 박수로 맞이해주세요.
We'll have Mr. Yoon up on stage to present the award.
자, 그럼 발표하겠습니다. 베스트 1대1상 킹존 드래곤 X 엑스보 마스터 선수.
Expo Master.
베스트 2대2 듀오상의 팝 게이밍의 레드
1v1,
야키토리 선수.
and we will have Brad and Yakitori for 2v2.
그리고 최다 승수를 기록한 보너스 스포츠의 미칸 모야 선수입니다.
For the most win award, we'll have Mikan Booya from Kono Sports.
Yeah, I think best player Expo Master comes down to his win rate.
가장 많이 출전했는데요.
He has won so many games.
7게임에 출전한 굉장한
Expo Master played 47 1v1 games.
9세트를 함께한
Still maintained a 70% win ratio, I believe, in 1v1.
Brad Yakitori
멋진 호흡을 보여주면서 베스트 듀오상을 차지를
played
했습니다.
so many 2v2 games as well from Fab Gaming.
선수는 1대1에서 18게임, 2대2에서 25게임, 총 43게임을 승리하는 어마어마한 기록을 남겼습니다.
And the most win for Mikan Booya, he had 18 wins in 1v1 games and 25 wins in 2v2. That's a lot of wins.
주고 있습니다. 이 대회를 통해서 이 골든 페카를 획득하게 된 이 영광의 얼굴들.
Look at that, the golden
이
Pekka.
트로피가 가지는 소중한 의미는 정말 앞으로도 영원할 것
It's going to
같습니다.
mean something different
그리고 함께
on their
지켰던
shelves
우리에게도
forever
정말 너무나도 멋진 플레이를
as a big
보여주셔서
trophy from
감사하다는
Clash Royale League
이야기를
Asia.
꼭 전해주고
I really want
싶습니다.
one for my fireplace in my house because it is so good looking.
여러분 다시 한번 뜨거운 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
Round of applause for these players getting the award here. Best 1v1, best 2v2, the most win. Expo Master, Brad and Yakitori from Fab Gaming, and Mikan Booya from Kono Sports.
뜨거운 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
Another round of applause for the players.
If you are watching at home, give a little round of applause. We can't hear you, but it's the thought that counts.
모두 수고하셨습니다. 잘 고맙습니다.
Thank you, Mr. Moon, as well.
윤재용 국장님에게도 여러분 다시 한번 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
감사합니다.
자, 이제 마지막이죠. 네. 이번 시즌을 통해서 아시아
And the final
최강자로
award
우뚝 서게 된
with the
단 하나의
season.
주인공 우승팀과 깜짝이야. 네. 결승전 MVP를
We will have the MVP from the finals tonight.
시상은 슈퍼셀 e스포츠 총괄을 담당하고 있는 조연조 총괄님, 그리고 슈퍼셀 e스포츠 프로듀서를 담당하고 있는 히로시 토노무라 프로듀서님께서 수고해 주시겠습니다.
We'll have Chris and Hiroshi Tonomura from Supercell to present the awards.
네, 슈퍼셀의 조연조 총괄님 그리고 히로시 토노무라 프로듀서입니다. 자, 발표하겠습니다.
The MVP.
클래시 로얄 리그 아시아 대망의 시즌 첫 초대 챔피언
The first champion of Clash Royale League Asia,
e스포츠입니다.
Kono Sports.
Surely they've got some amazing victory celebrations because they do that all the time when they play the games. I'm expecting something serious here.
챔피언이라는
getting the glorious first title of that Clash Royale League Asia.
맞습니다. 우승을 차지한 포노스에게는 챔피언 상금 4만 달러 그리고
They will
정규
get that
시즌
$40,000 just for the postseason. They had another one for the pennant race as well. Look at that golden trophy. The trophies that you get from Clash Royale in real life. Champions from Clash Royale League Asia, is your team, Pono Sport.
Well-deserved victory here. They have played so well all season long, and honestly, them taking the title is no surprise to anyone in the know.
And of course, we have the MVP from the finals.
결승전 MVP가 있죠. 루다 씨가 발표를 해주시죠.
Luda will present the award.
결승전을 빛낸 MVP는 바로
And the MVP is
포노스 스포츠의 푸치 선수입니다.
Fuchi from Pono Sports. What an exciting one here as the Sparky player here tonight with the final set.
Yeah, he also gets this amazing Hog Rider trophy for his MVP status. And I think he played so well today. Every game he played was incredible. He tied up and he finishes it off at Pono Sports. He is today's MVP.
He was not the best player from the Pono Sport or the pennant race result. We saw that. But today he has played some amazing Clash Royale on the final stage. That's why he deserves to be that MVP tonight.
Yeah, he just unreal, closing it out here with all the pressure on after losing that second game. Manages to finish it up in game 4 after tying game 3. Incredible, incredible play by him.
Let's have another round of applause for Christo and also Hiroshi Onomura for presenting the award. Thank you.
인터뷰를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다.
Let's have an interview with the champions.
감독 겸 에이스 겸 그 선수 겸 1인
First of all,
미칸 보우야에게 좀 질문 드리고 싶어요.
the team coach and the player and the
예감하셨었는지.
Did you actually expect it to win tonight on the final stage?
優勝予想してましたか？はい予想してましたか？今日の優勝
もう負ける気がしなかったです。
질 것 같진 않았습니다.
Didn't think we were going to lose.
이 승리를 차지한 지금의 기분 어떻습니까?
네,今の
How do you feel right now?
최고입니다.
Feels amazing.
네, 그동안 와일드카드부터 준피어를 걸쳐 결승에 우승까지 하셨어요. 6연승을 하셨는데
Because
이게
there's 6
가능하다고
match wins in a row. Did you think this was even possible through all the postseason, wildcard post, the playoff, and to the finals?
もう一度お願いします。
6連勝なんですけど、どういう結果で6連勝になさったのかという質問です。
やっぱりもう1回負けて、1回負けたチームと何回も当たってて、もう負けたくない気持ちで必死こいて全員で練習した結果が出たと思います。
역시 한번 졌던 팀들 상대로 연습을 해왔기 때문에
We practiced
6연승이 가능했었던 것
against
같습니다.
the ones that had lost already. I think those teams in help gave us a lot of practice, and that was possible because of all those teams.
선수한테 또 질문 드리고 싶은 것이 사실은 원래 시즌 중에는 2대2로 많이 쓰이다가
Raiki Jones, he was doing a lot of 2v2s. I want to ask you.
선수로 이제 변신하는 모습을 보여줬는데
And we saw that over the weeks, you became the first one to play 1v1. And was that all prepared for tonight?
計画通りのような感じでしたか？
そうですね、やっぱり最初の方は自分がチーム内の 1v1 は一番弱かったので、やっぱりその 2v2 を主にやってたんですけど、途中からやっぱ 1v1 の練習を頑張って徐々に成績を上げていけたので、後半は出ることができました。
시즌 초반에는 제가 아무래도 1대1 성적이 좋지
At the
않았기
beginning, I
때문에
didn't really have the best 1v1 result,
제가 실적을
so I
올릴 수
wasn't
있기 때문에
there to
1대1을
play
실전하게
too much,
되었습니다.
but I got the practices in, and with those accumulated, I was the player later on.
전역에서 전 세계에서 미칸 보우야에게 좀 너무 관심이 많이 쏠리다 보니까 아니 2대2 같이 하는데 자꾸 나도 잘했는데
Another question to Tengat,
얘기만 너무 해서
because we focused our attention onto Mikan Booyah so much.
アジアではミカンボーヤ選手がやはり注目されているんですが、それに対してなんか寂しかったりしませんか？テンガット選手。ね、テンガット選手。2対一緒にやってるんですけど、世界的にはやはりミカン選手の方が注目されているんですが、それに対してなんか寂しかったりしませんか？
いやでもまあ実力的には三河選手の方が自分でも上だと思っているので、まあ注目するのは当然だと思います。
실력적으로는 당연히 미칸보야 선수가 위이기 때문에
Of course, by skill, Mikanbuya is on top, so I think it is certainly right to put all the focus onto Mikanbuya.
사실은 이 선수 인터뷰를 하기 위해서 조금 많은 이야기를 골고루 나눴습니다.
And
굉장히
we have
푸치
to
선수한테
ask a
얘기하고
question
싶은
to
것이
Fuchi.
되게 마음고생이 심했을 것 같아요. 1대1
And of
전적이
course,
너무나도
he has a
좋지
pretty poor
않았었는데
win rate on the
거의 제가
1v1.
알기로는 뭐한 게임씩은 이겼지만 이 세트를 가져온 적은 없다고
He has
기억이
never brought
되는데
the set
오늘
to the team.
결승전에서 또 1대1 엔트리라서 좀 부담되진 않았었는지.
But wasn't it too much of a pressure for you to actually have 1v1 in the active roster?
記憶があんま良くなかったんですけど、で今日の1対1では負担ではなかったのかという質問です。
いや正直本当に苦しかったですけども、最後に勝てて本当にこうプロゲーマーになってよかったと思います。本当にはい。
굉장히 힘들었는데요.
It was
오늘
hard.
이겨서 프로게이머가 되어서 정말
It was
기쁘다는
tough,
느낌을
and
받았습니다.
I'm glad that I won and became the real pro gamer on stage.
그때 심정이
Really
정말
happy.
궁금해요.
今日の引き分けのゲームの時はどういう気持ちでしたか？
You even had a draw. Want to hear your feelings at the moment?
かなり頭の中ぐちゃぐちゃになってて、すごい疲れていました。
아, 굉장히 힘들었습니다.
It was really tough. It was just
그리고 끝으로
very hard at the
우리
moment.
감독 겸 선수 이제 미칸보야 선수에게 앞으로의 이 계획, 앞으로의 각오 이런 거 좀 한마디.
I want to ask you about the future plans for the team. To the coach, Mikanbuya.
と覚悟の一言最後にお願いします。
そうです。これからまた次のシーズンも始まると思うので、また練習して次も優勝します。
다음 시즌이 저희를 기다리고 있기 때문에요.
Next season
연습하고
is
또
already
다음에
waiting
이길 수
for
있도록
us.
하겠습니다.
So we will practice.
아시아 최강자를 가리는
Come out for the next
클래시
season.
리그 아시아 자 최강임을 입증했던 자 우리 보너스 스포츠에게 여러분 다시 한번 뜨거운 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
And the best season, another round of applause for the champion, Pono Sports.
축하드립니다.
한국, 일본, 동남아 3개 지역이 동시에 생중계로 이루어지면서 원정 경기까지 이어온 약 3개월이에요. 함께 온 선수들 그리고
It's been
함께
3 months, more than 3 months of play in Season 1 Clash Royale League Asia between Korea, Japan, and Southeast Asia.
그렇습니다.
Thanks to all the teams, all the players who has played. That's why we are able to have this final day here. And that's going to be wrapping up. Do you want to have your final words, Simon?
Season 1 Clash Royale League Asia has been some of the best Clash Royale I think I've ever seen. And I am so looking forward to a Season 2.
And we promise you to give better season. We will be coming up with the next season. That's it for myself, G-Clef, and Simon. We will have the champions, Pono Sport. And thank you all for watching Clash Royale League Asia. We will be back with the next season. Thank you for watching.